This program features live coverage of an African safari and may include animal kills and carcasses. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello, good morning, and welcome to your sunrise safari right here on Wild Earth. We are coming to you live from the beautiful Sandringham Private Game Reserve, and what a morning it is. Just look at that mist hanging over the reserve, and we are a little bit chilly, but ready to go. My name is Amy, and behind the camera with me is Panda. There he is, and I don't know how soon he's going to need his sunglasses, but not right now. It is like I say, a little bit chillier this morning, a lot of mist around as well, so we'll see how it goes here. But I am not alone out on drive. We have Steve in the Sabi Sand and Ralph in Amakala, and they are also out and excited to see what they can find for you this morning. I hope it's a little bit warmer for Ralph. I know he's been saying how cold it is down there, and I'm sure Steve also has one or two layers on this morning here in the Lowveld. But some exciting news from us is that we heard some lions calling somewhere out there. It's difficult to gauge the distance with the mist. Sound can travel very far, much further than on sort of a clear day. So we're going to head in that direction, everyone, and see. I'm really hoping that they do call again so that we can follow up and hopefully find some lions. All right, everyone, while we get going, let's send you over to Ralph to find out what his plans are.
Hello everybody, good morning and welcome to quite a blustery morning here on the Amakala Game Reserve down in the Eastern Cape province of South Africa. My name is Ralph Kirsten, and on the camera there I've got Morgan Mulholland. Guten Morgen, and Guten Morgen to all of you. Yes, our plan this morning is to go and see if those 3 male cheetahs have woken up from their slumber of yesterday. They still were looking a little bit fatty boys, so maybe they'll still be sleeping there. That's what I'm hoping. And there were also some lions in the area that they were sleeping as well. So who knows? Maybe it's going to be a nice, fun, whiskered morning and we can find some cheetah and maybe some lions. So we'll try and survive the wind. But with that wind, I'm going to blow you on over to Steve.
Oh goodness, luck with the wind that side, and good morning everybody, welcome to the Northern Sabi Sand. Hello, my name is Steve, I'm joined by Mpho on camera. It's Mpho's last full day before he goes on a touch of leave. Morning Mpho. Hello everybody, we hope you're well, and a moment ago you saw a little steenbok. There it is, a male steenbok. Now we're in the area where the lionesses were left yesterday. We're just seeing if there's any tracks coming out of the river. So far we haven't seen anything. This little steenbok looks like it's feeding on fallen leaves. Yes everybody, this is a fully grown animal of our small antelope species. Good morning Picasso, welcome on board, welcome on the Sunrise Safari this Sunday morning, the last day of August. Can you believe it? I was looking forward to August this whole year, as it was a very busy trail month for me. And now it is behind us. We hope everybody is having a wonderful, slow Sunday. Don't forget to just take it easy, to remember to breathe. There's no urgency on this day. It is the day of rest. So kick back and put your feet up. Let's see what we can find this morning. Thanks, Anna Marie. It's nice to be back. Good morning to you. We're just off the bank. This is the riverine area where the steenbok is. The lions were left just inside the river from where this little animal is, not far away. I doubt they're still in the same place, but very likely that they've moved. We heard some lions calling south from where we were, but it seems like that might have been in Hoffman's. And just like that, vanish. Can hear the giant eagle owl calling. Be careful, little steenbok. Okay, well, it sounds like Amy had some lions calling. Let's go see if she's had any luck.
They're calling at the moment, actually. We'll just finish, but we have 2 hyenas here, everyone, moving through the mist. I don't know how long we'll have them for. They're moving off down towards the river, but how cool is this? I mean, just the whole scene, everything together. Can hear some excited hyena chatter in the distance. Wow, that is just how thick the mist is at the moment. Quite unbelievable. I'm going to go forward. I don't know if we're going to see them again. Wow, it's actually, I don't know if it's possible, but it seems to have gotten thicker. We'll just have a look here to the right. I have a feeling, though, that they might have... Oh, there's one right there. Yeah, hyenas in the mist. There we go. Oh, it's moving off, everyone. I'm so sorry, but... I don't know if we're going to see them again. But very cool to show you. And wow, I mean, it is incredible how thick this mist is. They are on the move, so I think I'm going to loop around and see, but I'm actually very excited about these lion calls that we can hear, which is not far away at all, sort of behind us to the right. So I'm just going to go forward to see if we can see them, but otherwise I'm going to turn around and loop back the other way, because I'd really like to catch these cats on the move if they are moving. And by catch, I don't mean literally catch. Just find. Some ellies that we're approaching now.
The light on her as well is absolutely gorgeous.
So we are going to enjoy the rest of this sunset.
Wow, 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 this is absolutely crazy.
And thank you for joining us. For myself and Cam, we will see you next time.
Some of you out there are brilliant at identifying hyenas.
Now, why do you think people have got this huge misunderstanding about reptiles?
Right in front of me there was the face of an astounded buffalo bull.
This is live and interactive, so everybody, if you have any questions and comments, please do send them through and let us know what you would like.
And so I'm just following the Timbavati now and listening to hear if those lions call again, but also just looking very carefully. Whew. It's chilly. All right, we are going to keep scratching around here, everyone. We'll let you know if we find anything. While we do, we're going to send you into a virtual safari at the beautiful Sibuya.
So just observing the bush today, just enjoying the beautiful landscape and the beautiful vegetation that we're currently having. And today I'm gonna be taking you on a journey, and we're gonna explore some of the bushes and then get up close and personal and get to talk about the trees, some of the special species that we have around the reserve here in Sibuya. So I just stumbled upon one of the euphorbia species that we have in the reserve. So right over here, this is what we call the honey euphorbia, Euphorbia tetragantha. So it's one of the euphorbia species. So in the reserve, we have got 3 different types of euphorbias, and this is one of the euphorbias. So these are some of the trees that you can normally find in the coastline around in South Africa, so in the Eastern Cape and parts of the KZN. And I always wonder why they call it a honey euphorbia. So they do have flowers which they normally would produce, and then the bees can actually get the nectar from it. But they normally say the honey which the bees produce has got a little bit of a bitter taste in it. So it's not the best honey that you can say you can enjoy. But they call it honey euphorbia. All right, everybody, right over here, we've got one of the other euphorbia trees that we have in the reserve. So right over here, this is what we call the river euphorbia, Euphorbia triangularis. So in South Africa, within one of the cultures, the Xhosa tradition, there is a belief that when a family is having twins born within the family, so they're going to collect almost like the same size, same height, almost like same age trees, and then they're gonna plant it somewhere around the yard. And then what they say there's a correlation or a link between the kids and the trees. So that's a belief with one of the culture that we have in South Africa when it comes to the river euphorbia. everybody, we've got such an interesting organism right over here. So this is what we call the old man's beard. So you normally find them growing in an area whereby the air has got a very good quality. So if you look at them, it's not just one organism, it's actually two organisms coexisting together. So there's a mutualistic relationship between a fungi and algae. So what happens is that the green algae is the one that brings about the food. So it's the one that use water and the sunlight to photosynthesize and produce some carbohydrates and then produce food for both. And then the fungi is the one that gives the supporting structure of the old man's beard. So just looking at it growing all the way this long, it also has a very slow growing process. So seeing one this long, it really took a very long time for it to be this long. All right, everybody, we've got another species of the euphorbias. Right over here, we've got the valley bush euphorbia, Euphorbia grandidian. So it's one of the euphorbia species. But one thing that is a bit distinctive about this one, specifically to the valley bush euphorbia, it's got some spines on it, on the branches right over there, which are a little bit interesting to see, especially when you get to see it a little bit up close. And just like the other ones, it also does have the milky latex. So if I break this branch right over here, there will be milky latex that will come out of the tree, which will cause some irritation on my skin. So I will have to be very careful at it. All right, everybody, we've got another interesting tree right over here. So this tree right over here is what we call the sneeze wood. So this tree is known to produce one of the hardwoods when it comes to the trees that we have in South Africa. So back in the days, they used to use this tree to build these other woods which they used to put on the railway, and it's also known to be used to build the chassis of the ox wagons because it was even tougher than steel. So it can be used for things like the fence post. While you're stay close to the river, you can also build jetties with this. So that wood that you normally find around the jetties is from this tree. It's almost like forever wood. So it gets the name sneeze wood. Back in the days when they were busy using it while they're cutting it, it produces a dust. So that dust will go through your nose, and then most people who used to deal with it, they will sneeze a lot and it will cause some sinus issues. So that's why they also call it sneeze wood. So I'm just waiting for a nice beautiful sunset going to occur on the other side, and with the clouds just makes it a little bit more special and even beautiful. It's almost like a nature painting. So just gonna spend some time out here and just enjoy a beautiful sunset.
Welcome back, everybody. Lovely to spend time over in the Eastern Cape. Some splendid trees, some splendid scenes down there. I'll be in the Eastern Cape on the 2nd of October. And what have we got here? Tracks of our lions. 2 of them came, or all 4 came out of the river where we were. 2 of them are heading east here. One of them's crossed north. We heard monkeys' alarm calling. We raced around, but they've gone to the northern side. Maybe that lioness going back to her cubs. But here is the front foot. Here's the back foot. Moving at a medium pace. You can see the distance between the front. Can you see it, Paul? See the difference between the front and the back foot? About 2 inches. And this animal was walking. Not walking fast, not walking slowly. This kind of walk, they can cover quite a lot of ground. I've got 1, I've got 2. There's been a couple of cars driving here, but they reported 2 tracks heading east. And we're going to follow up. We can still hear monkeys shouting on the north. We did communicate with the guys on that side. But it would be nice to find some lions this morning on the move in the mist. It is a lovely misty morning after yesterday's incredible heat. So Jesse, a lion, when it's stalking, steps on front of its steps on its front foot. Its front foot and its back foot. If it's walking quicker, the back foot starts moving forward, 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 and the further ahead of the front foot the back foot is, the faster it was walking. When they really start eating the earth and really moving, you actually see the front track is it's disfigured because they're hitting the earth quite quickly and they're pushing off. So there's actually a bit more of a scuff, a bit more dirt kicked backwards. So it's something that we like to talk about when lions are stalking, when they're looking right, they're looking left, moving quickly, moving slowly, then you know whether it's worth following up. If lions are walking and then they go slowly, walking and then slowly, and then the foot sort of veers right and you lose them, they've probably gone this way because they're listening for something in the bush. Classic example of how they probably stopped right here. Maybe we see this one. Here's an example of the front foot being underneath the back foot. Right over there. So it was walking and it stopped and then carried on. So when we see that moving like that, there's more than one. You know, lions walk, they stop, they listen. I'll demonstrate with my feet. So as I'm walking and something catches my attention to the right, my tracks will indicate that. So my footprints are coming straight and then my feet turn. Something's got my attention there. Cats are the same. When cats are moving, they indicate lots about their behavior. But these tracks, I've been told already, have passed this junction, so we're going to pick up on them after here and see what's going on. Donnie, indeed, tracking. It's a magnificent thing. I absolutely love tracking. Reading the newspaper in the morning, some call it. See what's happened at night. And let's see if we're going to have any joy. But before we go to Amy, I just want to show you something that is very, very pretty. And Paul, is that okay? Very, very beautiful. It is the morning. It is the dawn. And it is a misty one at that. I invite you all to just take a nice deep breath all the way into your belly and let it out with an audible sigh. And do another one or two of those. Very nice way to calm the nervous system. It's by deep, conscious breathing. Happy Sunday, everybody. Happy end of August. Wishing you a very successful week to follow. A very successful September. I'm still going to be up in the north until the 19th of September, and then I finally get to go home. Did have a quick gap in July, unexpectedly, to go home, but it's been a long few months. A successful few months. Very sun in the mist. Gorgeous. Look at those lines cutting through the sun. Waves of condensation. Atmosphere. Some Cokie Franklin's calling. the long repetitive chirr of the crested barbet. And we're going to move on and carry on following these lion tracks, but it sounds like Ralph has had some success.
Thanks, Steve. And yes, success. The boys, the three Amigo cheetah coalition, the male coalition, have not moved very far. They've moved about 10 meters since yesterday afternoon. So this bodes well for us. I think we might get a little bit of a walkabout and potentially a hunt this morning. There's two of them. The other one is just doing exactly what I was hoping they would do yesterday afternoon. And you can see a little bit of bulge on that belly, which means they are carrying some meat. And if we are forced to follow in behind them, we might smell exactly what they've been feeding on as it's being digested and passing through. They do tend to pass wind, and it's not very nice to smell. But what a fantastic sight that is. A cheetah in the early morning light. The sun's not even up yet. So Steve, happy for August. I'm looking forward to October, where here in the Eastern Cape we call it Cobtober, because all of the, it's similar to Cape salmon species start coming up the rivers. And it's good fishing for us. So October is the month that I like to look forward to. But September as well, it's going to be nice and warm. Well, at least warmer than it is now. So lots to look forward to. And what these cats are going to be getting up to is hopefully what we're going to sit and watch and see. Jess, good morning to you too. Thanks for your comment. These two seem like they're not quite ready just yet to get out of bed. Lots of birds calling now, the dawn chorus. Guinea fowl are up and about. Lots of starlings. And I'm sure it won't be long and we'll be harassed by the hardy-daws. The collective noun for hardy-daws is exactly that, a harassment of hardy-daws. I think it's quite fitting. Although it's Jarrett's favourite bird, it's not everybody's. These guys doing a bit of aloe grooming. So Lana, yeah, it's nice to see them a little bit more active. Even this is a lot more than what they did yesterday. We were hoping for a bit more out of them, but they're going about their business and living their lives, and we're just here to observe. You might find sometimes they groom each other to the point where they almost start attacking each other and then playing. It's that time of the morning that we might see a bit of play, who knows? And get the zoomies. Nice to see the affection towards the brothers. Good old stretch. And these three, hopefully, like we were chatting about yesterday, get to father some more, or a son, or some more kittens with the the new female.
For years, we've shared virtual wildlife. Now, let's experience it for real. I'm Lauren Arthur, and I'd love to show you my amazing home here in the Greater Kruger of South Africa. This 5-night journey is an exclusive connection to my piece of untamed Africa. I live here in these gorgeous landscapes surrounded by epic wildlife. The wild is calling, so come and join me.
Can you hear that? The wild is calling.
Steve says the only one that can tell the difference is Eric because he loves poo. That's interesting.
He's obsessed.
Oh.
He flies with his poo stick.
He flies with a poo stick. Yeah, I think somewhere along the line he's going to get pulled over by customs. Disease and animal control. Might be passing on foot and mouth disease. Julie, I think that's it because it gets so much iron in blood. Unless the animal has got some kind of issue of absorption, maybe something wrong with their bowels and their digestive system, there shouldn't really be iron deficiencies in carnivores because they are obviously taking in a lot of iron with the blood that they feed on. So, you know, I'm no vet, but I'm sure it's possible, but in general, I would say that it's not really an issue with carnivores in particular to get iron deficiencies, unless they're struggling to feed and kill animals. I think if we had to force them to become vegetarians, I think that would be the first issue that they'd come up with, is iron deficiency. So that's a real potential. So cheetahs, please stay carnivores. We don't need you to be vegetarians. Otherwise you're going to have problems. So that wind's still starting to come through. The rule that we say here down in the Eastern Cape, if the wind comes up before midday, it's going to be a howler. But we're going to wait here. These cats are making every inclination that they might go for walkabout. But you're going to walk about all the way to Amy.
Well, no developments as of yet. We haven't heard them call again, and we are just basically covering the area. I haven't picked up on any tracks or anything. We're on the fire break at the moment, right on the southern boundary, and this is sort of the direction, the very far southern side of where we heard the calling. So just trying to drive around the block and see if we can see anything. But in the meantime, the sun has risen. You can see how misty it still is. And yeah, it's quite it's not as cold down by the river at all here. We're a little bit higher up now, and I'm just taking the opportunity to have a moment while we enjoy the sunrise to listen, see if we can hear these lions again. Drongo is awake and calling. But it's interesting because, like I've mentioned, the mist, that it's these lions could be a lot further than what I thought they were. So after this, I'm actually going to head further east, and then basically towards the Timavati. Maybe they were moving. Ah, Karen, it is beautiful, isn't it? Really quite something special to see the sun and the mist like this. We haven't had mist for a few days now, and it's come back this morning. Usually goes away after about an hour or so, but we'll see. It still seems quite thick here. But always nice to hear the birds and take a moment as we begin our day. All right, we're going to keep moving. Because, if these lions are on the move, I definitely want to give us the best chance to find them. But also to cover ground in this early portion of the day as much as we can in order to rule out where they could be or where they are not. Alright, well, while we do this, everyone, we are going to send you back over to Ralph to see what those cheetahs are up to.
Well, the cheetah haven't moved in the little time that you haven't been with us, but that sun is just poking up now over the horizon, and we've got a bit more light on them, so you can see them a bit clearer now, and they're looking wonderful. These three boys are in fantastic nick. Excellent hunters. They have broken many boundaries, I think, in the laws of the size of animals that cheetah can take down. So much so that one of them broke their legs and had to be repaired with pins and needles and all sorts, but doing well once again. Still rather wet as well in the grass, so that might also drive them to want to get up and walk. As the sun gets up, it'll start to dry things up as well. Very clear skies today, no clouds around. So maybe as the sun gets up, they'll also want to seek a bit of shade, although it hasn't been very cold at all. We've been seeing quite a few reptiles trying to get out and about, but they're all in slow-mo. From the leopard tortoises to the lizards and the angular tortoises, the little ones. It's just a bit of grooming, probably licking off the water off its feet. See, they're obviously getting a reasonable amount of moisture as well when they groom, especially on a wet morning like this. It's all just because of dew. It's not because of rain. But that's why I say cheetah very rarely actually go to drink open water. But yeah, so they're very well adapted to conserve water within their bodies. Anyway, while we wait and see if these guys get up and start walking, let's head you on back to Amy.
Well, hello everyone. Oh my goodness, I couldn't not share this with you. We just were carrying on down the road and looking carefully when I spotted these little guys that are waking up. And it's so nice because we're actually quite close to them, and it's by far my best mongoose sighting in terms of proximity here at Sandringham that I've had. And I know we all love some time with dwarf mongooses. Very fixed on us. Deciding what they're going to do next. Such beady little eyes as well. And to find them at this time of day is so great because they are just waking up and beginning wanting to probably do some grooming. The second one has come out a lot more at the bottom. I love those little movements, so sudden. Oh, Nadia, that is a great question. Ooh. There's a lion roaring, everyone. We're heading in the right direction. We're heading in the right direction. It's basically right ahead of us, which is good news. Oh. So we'll definitely continue heading this way. But it's so nice to show you these little mongooses along the way. Such commitment to every movement. That little nose is moving all the time. Sorry, there was a question about the eyelashes. It doesn't look like it from this distance. I'm going to have a look with my binoculars. There might be some small ones. In fact, they probably are. Probably are some little eyelashes above the eye there. Just not as big as what we see on other animals. Like giraffe and wildebeest and elephant. Yeah, I think there are some eyelashes there that I can see. Bonnie, yes, in fact they are. The the family group would be territorial over there. They have got, their territories are about 1 kilometer squared, and within that they'll have multiple termite mounds that they will use, and they mark these termite mounds with feces, basically, with the poop as well as scent. And so yes, Bonnie. All right, we're going to leave these mongooses. I'm so glad we got to show them to you. We're going to go follow up on that lion that's calling. Let's send you back over to Ralph.
Thanks, Amy. Yeah, I would say that pretty much all, if not all mammals have eyelashes. I mean, one of the most sensitive and important parts of a mammal's body, being the eyes and being so close to the brain as well, needs the protection from eyelids and eyelashes. And especially with mongoose being diggers, they probably need that protection even more so because of all the dust and dirt that they'd have when they are digging and truffling and putting their noses into the ground. So I think without eyelashes and eyelids, there would definitely be issues for the eyes. So I would say there's probably, I would almost think it would be difficult to say which mammals don't have eyelashes, more so than ones that do. I mean, you look at cheetah, you see how big their eyes are, enabling them to see long distance and during the day. Very important to be able to protect that eye, not only from hard objects, but also from the likes of small objects, so dust and dirt, as they're running at great speed. I think they, definitely need to be able to have that protection from the eyelashes. And also if they're walking around during the night as well, in low light conditions, in order to close the eye if they had to feel something near to it, the likes of thorns. If they're walking through a thicket and a thorn pokes in their eye, they could literally die from that. So I think it's really important of that eyelashes to giving the early warning. So Kelsey, secretary birds, well, they're not the only bird that's got eyelashes. So ostrich also has very good eyelashes. Once again, I think it might have to do with the habits of the particular species and where they spend a lot of their time. Ostriches obviously permanently on the ground and also adapted to desert-like conditions. And just imagine when the wind gets up in the desert, you've got a lot of dust and sand and grit blowing around. So once again, also helping to be able to know when to close the eye. I think it's an early warning system with eyelashes. I mean, even with humans, you get, if something comes towards your eye without you knowing it and it touches your eyelashes, I think the automatic reflex is to the eyelid closes. I don't even think that it's, we think about it. It's an involuntary reaction to, the eyelash being touched. So then the eye closes. So I think it's the same. And with secretary birds walking around on the ground once more, they have, and also hunting and potentially dangerous snakes. So if something sort of moves towards the eye, touches the eyelash, then that eyelid will close. So I think real important in shutting the eye and protecting that very vulnerable part that is almost like an Achilles heel for mammals and birds, that if the eye gets damaged, it could also obviously hamper their sight, but could also very easily become infected, etc. And so, I think it's a really important organ that is protected by the eyelid and with an early warning system of the eyelashes. So, yeah, I think all the animals with eyelashes is just protecting that very vulnerable part. You look at ostriches where their eyes are as big as a billiard ball. It's very important that it is protected. And then, also assisting in cleaning the eye of the grit and the dirt, and sort of, you know, moving that out of the area of the eyeball itself. So yeah, lots to say about the eyes and the eyelashes, etc. It's very interesting indeed. But I bet if it's Panda that's with Amy, maybe you can get a nice close-up and see if we're right in that they do have eyelashes, but the little mongoose are small and quite difficult to get that close up. But I'm sure at some stage we could actually confirm that. Now that sun getting up a bit more, it's going to slowly start warming up, but this is probably the coldest part of the night as the heat dissipates and heads upwards, being replaced by the cold air coming in. So it's always coldest just after sunrise. But these guys still just grooming a little bit and getting ready for the day. And now we're getting some noise from an Egyptian goose who's trying to land on a branch but not doing very well at it. Anyway, I'm going to head you off back to Steve.
Welcome back, everybody. Oh, we got a male leopard here. It was found with tracks and a drag mark. One of the guides here seems to think it's the Nottens male. We're right on the Mala Mala boundary. I'm not sure who this is. I've never seen him before, but I'm going to reposition. He's got to kill up the tree here. But he definitely doesn't like the shape of our vehicle. If he's coming from Mala Mala, he's probably never seen a wild earth vehicle before. I've never been on TV before. Oopsie. Sorry about the bush. There's a very scraggly piece of meat hanging in the tree there. Nottens is one of the reserves down south. Okay, so apparently that has been confirmed already by Shreyas. He's gone to that termite mound. I'm just going to give him lots of space because he definitely reacted slightly to our vehicle. It's probably the shape of muscles and paw on the back. There he's in the road. He's just crossing the road over there. So we're going to give him some space, let the other vehicles follow him, but he's got food here. There's no need for him to leave or to go for too long. Oh.
My name is Amy, and today we're going to be doing things a little bit differently.
Even our hyena coming into the action as well now. Oh my word! She's stalking the hyena now. Leopard, hyena, lion, all together in one shot. Oh! Whoa! This is action-packed.
Best sighting I've presented. I found myself with wild dogs. We chased the dogs around, chased them around. They ate an impala. We got the end of that. Then another impala went into Gowrie Dam down the road there, and the wild dogs went around. Eventually the impala came close to the bank. One wild dog went and grabbed it and then just pulled it out and just did what wild dogs do. It was an emotional experience, but it was very, very special. hyenas love bathing.
Out here, every wild moment counts, and as a wild earth explorer, you will not miss out. Watch the Wild Earth channel ad-free 24/7, and you can even rewind if you have missed out on something. Enjoy the behind-the-scenes video clips as well as fireside chat, or get the early offers on our travel experiences. It's the best way to stay connected and be part of the Wild Earth family.
Okay, it is very special meeting new individuals. He's not uncomfortable with us. I think when we arrived initially, he was like, what on earth is this? It's just a slight shift in the change, the shape of the vehicle. But he's very full, nice big boy. He's just got a thorn in his foot. He might be very new to this particular patch. Very new to this particular patch, so he's going to be checking it out, investigating, sniffing, smelling. You might want to catch something again. Look at him. I need to write a list of the amount of leopards I've seen in the Sabi Sands over the last 7 years. The list will be extensive. Be more than 40 now. Catherine leopard number 36 for the Sabi Sand for you. That's awesome. You might hear some voices. The other guide is talking very loudly. He's got a very similar appearance to Osana, everybody. Yeah, was my all-time favorite. Mzemba is Hosana's son. He's got a very similar sort of look to him. The vehicle has gone and parked right in the shot. Oh, that's my alarm. Apologies for that. Sammy is indeed an interesting looking lad. I don't know if he's fully territorial yet. Definitely behaving like he's in a new sort of area. You know, with the arrival of us, there's sort of a nature to him of potential risk of He might not be in an area he's supposed to be. We know Mawati frequents this area, so he's definitely out of his territory as far as I'm aware. Well, very good. Everybody's very keen to come and see him, so we're going to make some space, everybody. And, well, he's got some meat in the trees, so maybe we'll be able to come back. Or we'll put ourselves in the lineup again, or we'll come back again this afternoon. Fantastic. Nice working, Paul. Well, that's it. Okay, well, we're going to send you from our spotted cat to Ralph's spotted cats.
Yeah, so our boys haven't really moved much at all once again, but the sun keeps getting up, starting to dry things off. They've been grooming, they've been stretching, they've been yawning, and we've been watching the guinea fowl scuttle around in the distance. A very noisy Egyptian goose near to us. It's obviously shouting the odds at another Egyptian goose. This is the time of the year that they really do start making a racket, because they're pairing up and then fighting almost in a gang turf warfare between pairs. So the Egyptian geese are more vocal than usual at this time of the year. And you see them sort of chasing each other quite a lot and displaying with their wings out, especially when they spot another pair coming into their territory. So sugar bits, you want to know if the big cats have the prickly bits on their tongues. So absolutely, I've been licked by a cheetah, and it almost took my skin off, and that was at the Volt Rehabilitation Centre, so not in any kind of petting farm or whatnot, so just to make that very clear. But it was an adult, and literally the skin almost came off. So you must think, if cheetah are one of the smaller of the big predators, the likes of lion and leopard, I think they could probably take the skin off your arm if they had to lick you. So yeah, they've all got it, and it helps when they're feeding on a carcass to not only sometimes lift the fur and the skin up, but it actually can almost take flesh up as well. So it's incredible. It seems all of the big carnivores have got those. It's almost it's so rough that it's almost like spikes. It's crazy. Very, very rough tongues indeed. Sherbets. I wouldn't say spikes, but yeah, it could almost feel like that. I was very impressed, almost shocked by, I didn't know the cheetah was going to lick me. I was just near to it, and it licked my arm, and yeah, not sure why, but I pulled my arm away because that's how it was very rough. It's almost like taking the coarsest sandpaper you can find and scratching it down your arm. That's how it feels. So it can almost graze your arm just by one lick. But it's also crazy that, you look at the likes of a cheetah here, it looks all fluffy and soft. But when you feel them, their hair is actually a lot coarser than you think, and it's not as soft as it seems. Yes, maybe on a little bit under the belly might be a little bit softer, but the general hair is actually rather coarse, and it's not what it seems. And that's with cheetah. I mean, you think of leopards and lions, they'll also be very similar. Oh, we have some movement. I think they're watching those guinea fowl that are running around like crazy kids on a playground. chasing each other in the early morning. I think they're spotting that movement, and then they have a look, and then they realize it's only guinea fowl, and then lose interest. You see, with cheetah and any of the cats, it's anything moving around, it's kind of like pulling a piece of string for a domestic cat. They instinctively just, it doesn't matter even if they are fat and fully fed, they'll still take interest. It's just a natural reaction to anything that's moving around and that could potentially be prey.
My name is Amy, and today we're going to be doing things a little bit differently.
At Wild Earth, we believe every story has the power to create change. That's why we've launched the Wild Earth Impact Foundation, a non-profit dedicated to conservation and social impact. By showcasing conservation stories, we can change lives, protect nature, and empower communities. We have partnered with Empowers Africa to accept tax-deductible donations from US donors. Your donation will help fund critical programs that support our mission. Join us and be part of the change.
If you love watching Wild Earth, here's a little tip. You'll gain access to the channel ad-free. You can rewind and rewatch sightings and gain access to our live Tuesday safaris. There's also behind-the-scenes videos, fireside chats, and every SafariLIVE episode, whenever it suits you. It's just the best way to connect with nature.
It was like a snowflake, wasn't it? I remember the first time seeing, being shown what a snowflake actually looks like and in its detail and how every single one is unique. It just blows my mind, really, that that pattern or a pattern like that is within those ice crystals. It's something quite spectacular. I would love that. Nadine and Tadiwa are in the final control room today, and they said, imagine that it snows on Sandringham. Imagine. And I'm able to put a snowflake under the microscope. That would be the ultimate microscope segment, wouldn't it? Panda's nodding his head. I'd be done after that. I think there's nothing that can top it. I'd never be able to use the microscope again. That is such a perfect country for a leopard to be in, my goodness me. Alright everybody, we're gonna keep searching here, fingers crossed. While we do, let's send you back over to Ralph with the cheetah.
No real action just yet. Well, except for the noise that you can hear from the Egyptian geese. There's a few birds that are making noises around. There's a couple of white-necked ravens that have pulled in. The guinea fowl are all chasing each other around. And this is all here on the Leeuwenbosch flats. Right here near to where these cheetah are. So, like I say, I'm pretty sure that we have more chance today of these guys going active as the sun gets up and starts burning off this moisture and the dew. But nice to spend time with them nonetheless. With them having spent so much time on the far end of the reserve, difficult and long drive for us to get to them. Now they've come to our neck of the woods, and hoping that they still move into the area where that new female is. It was witnessed that one of these boys, I don't know which one, did mate with her, and the feeling was that it was only one of them that mated with her. But once again, we can't be sure of that. We don't know what happens, overnight and when there's no eyes on them. So it's confirmed that at least one of them has mated with her. And we're hoping that maybe that there will be more of that. Maybe that's why they've come across to the side. Maybe they are going to see if they can move into her area and carry on the relationship. She was unsuccessful yesterday in what we saw, her trying to hunt. But we left her, she was still moving around, so who knows if she was successful later on. She's due a feed. Not so too much these guys. It would be interesting to see if we had all four of them together on that side, and the female, if the males had to make a kill and if they had allowed the female to come and feed. That would be really interesting. But anyway, let's go and see if there's anything interesting with Steve.
We were trying to do a little bit of birding there. We're in the lineup to go back to the male leopard. We're just doing a little bit of a loop around the block, and we found a very noisy Natal spur fowl. But according to the information I've received, that the Nottens male is 3.5, born in February 2022, and he's clearly on the move, trying to establish himself somewhere. He was in the west, in the Nyati, just the other day, which is quite interesting. So he spent most of his time down in the Sabi area, and now he's on the move looking for territory to establish himself. So we'll head back there shortly, see if we can find out a little bit more about him. Well, it sounds like Amy has got a bit of predator action.
Hello everyone, oh my word, here we go. We have found the lions. I don't want to say that I was going to give up, but we definitely were sort of going to the edge of where I thought maybe these lions could be, and we have found this pair here on the airstrip. And just awesome to have these two. It looks like one of the younger black dam males and one of the females. At the moment, I can't see any others. Hooray! It is a fantastic feeling when you're following up on something and eventually you find what you're looking for. Sam, I know this scene is so beautiful. Oh, just look at him. He is stunning. I think this is the one with the darker mane. And yeah, the mist is just playing its part. It's been a dream for a long time after having these misty mornings to find lions in the mist. And I mean, how stunning is this? Oh, nice. They keep looking a little bit in that direction. I'm not sure if it's that they know that other lions are in that direction, or if maybe they're actually just facing towards the sunshine to warm up a bit. Yeah, Carol, it is. It really is. A few yawns happening. Most likely they are going to move. I don't see them sitting here the whole day. I'm hoping if they do move, they come straight towards us. That would be ideal. Or maybe they'll cross and head down into the river. Only time will tell, but we're definitely not going to go anywhere. Wow, what a scene. What a scene. Oh, Gabriella, you say your favorite? I'm so glad we could show you your favorite this morning. They're interested in, there's a lot of birds flying around and maybe capturing their attention.
Oh, wow.
What does it take to handle the wild? Balance. Determination. Focus.
Yaku!
And gear that can take a beating so you don't have to.
My full name is Mpho Tikani. I grew up in Soweto. My first animal that I filmed said to dog. Okay, no, it's my first animal that I filmed, I think it was an impala. Best sighting ever, I would say it was actually this year, 2024. But it was at this Cedric when we had Mulwati and TP on a warthog kill. I think we have to cut it.
Greatest wildlife spectacle on planet Earth. We'll see you there.
Out here, every moment counts. As a Wild Earth explorer, you won't miss a thing. Watch the Wild Earth channel ad-free 24/7 and rewind if you want to catch something again. Enjoy behind-the-scenes videos, fireside chats, and early access to travel offers. It's the best way to stay connected and be part of the Wild Earth family.
There's a vehicle driving from that side which has caught their attention. Yeah, Earth Lover, it is a beautiful sight. And just the whole scene, I think, with the open area and the sunrise, the morning light now, not really sunrise anymore. To see these lions like this is quite special. And the reason these two have paired off, I'm not sure. We have seen this male mating with females before, so that could be that this female's an estrus and the reason that they are together is for that. But they've also been splitting up for various reasons along the way as well. And there was that calling going on, so I think there are more lions around, but these are just the two that are viewable at this stage. Alright, well, as we sit here with the lions, we're not going anywhere. Let's send you over to Ralph to see what those cheetahs are up to.
Still not too much movement from the boys. Heads are up. Guinea fowl came and had a look at them, but they shifted off quite quickly when one of the boys got up. So they've moved off. You can still hear them. The Egyptian goose still making a racket because there's lots of birds moving into its path. But there's one Egyptian goose just walking around in the grass that I think it's shouting at. And that's what these guys are looking at. But Morgan and I were just discussing, and this is our 7th drive in a row sitting with cheetah. I think that's got to be some kind of record. If it's not, we're going to break it, I think. We're going to carry on looking out for these guys and following them, as well as that other female. Spending time with cheetah, I think we could probably say, much like fishing, is not taken off a man's life. Could be worse things that we could be doing. Sitting in an office, maybe. Well, this pretty much is mine. So welcome. So Francine, who's 10, thanks for your question. Yes, cheetahs do sweat. Pretty much all mammals will sweat, some more than others, but they need to be able to expel heat. You know, even if you look at dogs and cats, they don't sweat as much as we might through our skin. They expel most of the heat through their mouth and blowing the air over their tongue so that it cools down, but they still do sweat normally underneath their legs, in their armpits. So there is not as much as we sweat, but definitely some sweating does come out of their body through the pores in their skin, and generally underneath the legs, in the armpits of the legs. So the back legs and the front legs would sweat a bit, just in the soft area where it joins the body. So yes, even elephants and rhino, they would also sweat, but definitely not as much as us. We expel too much water through our skin. We are not very good in keeping the water that we take in through our mouths, in our bodies, but a lot of the animals do sweat, but not so much like us. Thanks for your question. It's very important for the animals to be able to expel the heat, because it can get very hot out here. Most of it, like I say, going out of the mouth, but they need to find ways of getting rid of that heat through the skin as well. If you look at the small antelope, the likes of steenbok and springbok, they have very thin skin, so they expel heat out of that skin, but that's what makes them very, it's difficult for them when there's extreme conditions, especially when it's very cold. Then because of that thin skin, they feel the cold a lot more than the likes of the big thick-skinned animals like a hippopotamus or a rhinoceros or an elephant or buffalo, who have very thick skin. And so can't get rid of that heat as easily, but when it's cold, they don't get as cold as a little antelope. All right, so our cats are sleepy, but it seems like Amy's got some mobile cats.
These lions are moving, everybody. Are they going to come out right here? She has quite a scar on her face, actually, a fresh mark. Now, apparently, Panda spotted another lion, everyone, which I think might be still going to follow. They look like they're heading down towards the river. He's definitely following her every move there. Is it coming? Okay. Let's go forward. Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay. We're going to reposition. There we go. There he is. It's the younger male with the light mane. There he is. Oh, he's following. Oh, look at that. I'm not surprised this boy's hanging out with his brother and that lioness. Wow, everyone, the cat trifecta. What a morning. What a morning. I think history's been made here on Wild Earth this morning. Incredible stuff. Now, it looks like they're on their way down to the river. Fortunately, there are roads that we can follow on the other side to see. It will mean that we'll have to loop around a little bit. Let me just go forward here. He's just stopped on the airstrip and I think he's going to walk around and follow the others. Wow, what a morning! Kim, I know, just incredible. And they're both very handsome boys. Of course, the other one having a little bit of darker coloration in the mane than this one. All right, let me just go a little bit further here so we can watch him. Go. He is such a hunk, my goodness. It is, they both actually very good looking boys, very, very handsome. Well, everyone, wow. I mean, what more can we say? That was incredible to have them moving like that. I am going to see if we can find them again. That's definitely the plan. They're moving just down here, so I'm actually going to loop around the left and see if we can see them that side. All right, while we do that, though, let's send you back over to Steve and the leopard.
Well, indeed we do. History has been made. 3 cats on the split screen. Good morning, young man. So February. Yeah, so 3.5 months plus minus. 3 years. 3.5 years, sorry. 3.5 years. He's definitely not a fully grown male. You'll see it by the lack of the dewlap. And the confidence, he knows he's not in his territory, so he's doing what female leopards tend to do when they have kills. When they make a kill, let's quickly go over to Amy.
Wow, everybody, we were just leaving. Well, heading our way back down the airstrip, and here he is, the dominant male of the Black Dam Pride. He was just lying sort of in the shade under some guaris a bit further deeper into the thickets than what the other 3 were. And sorry to have to take you away from that leopard so quickly, but I just thought he's not going to be here for too long. He's on the move. And I didn't want you to miss this awesome, awesome moment. He's sniffing around, you see that? I think that is basically the other males that he's Oh, wow. Look at that. He's going to come right past us, everyone. Right past us. My goodness me. There's always something so incredible when a lion like this moves so close to you. He's following exactly where the other male and female walk down there. Oh, wow. His coat is so glossy. I know there's a comment about the other males being hunks. Well, this boy's a beast. My word. Wow, that was awesome. We'll send you back over to the Nottens male in the Sabi Sand with Steve.
Well, where was I? Lions, leopards, cheetahs all over the place. Now this young male leopard is out of his territory and behaving the way a young leopard or a female leopard does in the presence of a male leopard's territory. They will make a kill and they'll move off to a safe place where they can come back and feed at leisure, but they won't get caught. If a male leopard arrived, being a dominant male like Mawati, this is definitely his area. If he arrived, he'd go straight for the kill. And if this young boy was on the kill, well, he'd get a hiding. It could be more than a hiding. It could be very physically attacked. So he knows, if you have a kill, the tax you pay is leaving the kill in the tree for the dominant males of the area to take what they need. But when he feels hungry again, he'll go and feed, and no doubt he'll be very watchful and very aware. Now, I'm not sure if I'm reading this right, because if there's another Nsumi that I don't know about, but they say Nsumi is the mother of this male. I'm guessing there's another Nsumi, but I'm not sure if the Nsumi that we know has had cubs. Maybe someone can let me know, but 3.5? I'm not sure.
The Wild Earth Impact Foundation is a non-profit that uses the power of wildlife storytelling as a force for good. We create sustainable development projects that showcase conservation stories, empower people, and inspire environmental action. As a registered South African PBO, you can make a tax-deductible donation to the Wild Earth Impact Foundation. To find out more, visit our website. Join our expert guides at dawn for a live, immersive safari as the bush comes to life.
found ourselves a chameleon, and look how he's changed color.
Every sunrise brings new discoveries.
Pound for pound, a leopard is one of the strongest cats around.
Ask questions, share your thoughts, and connect with nature, live and in real time.
Great excitement, great happiness.
Start your day with adventure.
Behind us, and so we'll show you what it looks like. It is if you don't like dead animals or meat hanging in trees, now is your time to look away. Marsha, I'm not sure what a DNA test costs, but I know that they were even reimbursing guides for collecting the samples. I never received my reimbursement, but then again, BK probably should have got the reimbursement. I don't know. I don't know what it costs. Obviously, everything has a cost value to it. So there is the remains of... I thought it was bark when we arrived on the other side. It looked like bark hanging from the tree. But it's most certainly a dead animal. And, well, it's not the prettiest of sights. So we're going to go back to the leopard because, well, that's far prettier to look at than meat drying in the sun. We ready? There we go. So I don't know how much a DNA sample costs. I think the more and more these things are happening, the cheaper they're getting. But when you're a research institution doing all this sort of work, they've probably got it in the house and they probably do lots of them at the same time, so they probably lower the costs enormously.
So these guys still sleepy. Now they've gone completely flat. So we have 3 flat, fat cats. But that's not to say they're not going to go active anytime soon. The sun getting up now, drying off the dew. And maybe they'll wake up shortly. Maybe just enjoying this night's little late morning snooze. I say late morning, it's still pretty early, but late for us. We're up really early, long before the sun gets up. And normally this is the time of day that, you know, the cheetah could become active. Lions almost starting to bed down for the day as that sun gets up and starts warming everything up. Leopard, a little bit more like cheetah, they can be active day or night. The guinea fowl still getting going as well. It's lovely to be out before the sun gets up and you watch the changing of the guard. You hear still the fiery-necked nightjars and some owls when we're up before the sun gets up, and then slowly but surely you start hearing all the guinea fowl and the daytime birds getting going. That crepuscular period of dawn and dusk. Still got the one red hartebeest that's just roaming about. Looks like a big old bull. But these cheetah are taking no notice. Where's he gone? He walked behind the bush. Of course he has. Yeah, he doesn't want to be seen. He's been quite busy this morning, up and down. So Maya, yeah, the cheetah also do get that little spot pattern along the whiskers. So that's potentially also a way to identify them, or, you know, between each other. I even look at my little domestic cat. I think the one that she's got I think it's a 7-0. I don't think we've ever seen that with leopards. But even my domestic cat has got a spot pattern. But she's only got spots on one side, so she would be very easy to identify. Not easy to see any spots now when they're flat like this on the ground, but we'll have a look when we get a nice clear shot of them standing up and looking in our direction. We'll see if we can identify these three between each other and get their different spot patterns. So obviously one of them has a collar, but we'll try and keep that aside and just look at the different features between them. So as soon as we get them on the picture good enough, let's run that exercise. So, and speaking of those spot patterns, I wonder what spot pattern the Nottens male has got.
Well, he's up and he's having a look over the termite mound, and I think I heard in my ear there what spot pattern is. He's 4-4. Ralph, he's a 4-4 spot pattern. And some information coming through from Michael Fleetwood says that the Nsumi in the southern Sabi Sand is spelt correctly without the E at the end, and she has raised 4 cubs successfully, one of which is this young male. Panthera, the organization I was talking about before, asked that could Chava's daughter have the E on the end so that they look different in the reports. Wow, Michael's apparently, this is the 65th different leopard that he's seen live on Wild Earth since he started watching in 2015. That's quite a big number. I'm going to have to rack my brains, go back over all the leopards I've seen. Our expansion into these areas, we are on Jackie's, right down south by the Mala Mala boundary, so our expansion into these areas is allowing us to get the opportunity to see cats we wouldn't have seen before. Well, it's really nice being out here. Really nice having the assistance of all the other guides. There's a lot more radio activity, a lot more feet on the ground, so to speak. So the potential for finding cats is far increased in the last few months. Tanya, he's gorgeous. He's a gorgeous leopard. I'd love to know more of his history. He's definitely got a sort of, as I said earlier, Hasana-esque look to him. But he's going to bulk up still. In the next year and a half, he's going to pick up weight. He's going to thicken out. Right now, he's going to be nomadic, moving and bouncing. He's not allowed in his natal area anymore. He can go back and forth sometimes as long as he pays the tax to whoever his father is, but he's essentially moving out to look for a territory. Although I feel at 3.5 he's still a little bit young to be establishing one. He'll just be sort of checking out the areas, seeing where things are nice, picking up on the smells of the males and the females, and maybe looking for a gap. sure with the smell, they smell the male leopard of the area. There's so much that they can probably pick up on that we're not really aware of. We can assume Pam, he's gonna be a big boy. Yes, he is. He's definitely already a decent size, but he hasn't filled out yet. He's still got a lot of thickening to do. Thickening out of the neck and the dewlap and the shoulders. I wonder if he knows it's the first time he's ever been on TV. Oh yeah. Yeah. What actually happened, everybody, is we got him on camera first, and then he moved off. We actually moved off. We went to go and have a private chat with him off air where he could sign the waiver for being on air so that he knows how to behave. Now he knows that he's going to be shot all over the world, on everybody's screens. New leopard.
Let's go and take a look. See you out there.
My full name is Mpusi Tikani. Best part of my job is coming to see nature. Worst part of my job is logging. That's the worst thing ever, because you have to log amount of footage. You sit in front of that computer and yeah, you think of deleting the footage, but no, they need the footage. If I went to camel, probably a soccer player. I know some people don't believe me, but I'm very good, I'm very fast.
And that's it for this morning's drive.
She's just got an impala, everybody.
And we're going to be heading out and seeing what animals we can find.
Out here, every wild moment matters, and as a Wild Earth explorer, you won't miss a thing. Watch the Wild Earth channel, ad-free 24/7, where you can even rewind and watch something again. Get access to behind-the-scenes videos, fireside chats, and access to early travel offers. It is the best way to stay connected and be part of the Wild Earth family.
Didn't show any skittishness to him, just moved off. We got to see him again and he walked right past the car. I'm pretty sure it all had to do with the fact that there was a kill nearby and he didn't want to be surprised by a male leopard. Look at him, he's very alert. He also dragged the carcass quite some distance. Someone saw the tracks of the stomach and some tracks around the stomach, and they assume there might have been a wild dog that made the kill, and that this male stole it from the dog and dragged it to the tallest tree. Hard to tell. The wild dog might have come across the stomach. I mean, leopards aren't renowned for killing an animal in the middle of the road, disemboweling them and then dragging it. They will make a kill and drag it, and if they disembowel it, they do so generally at the bottom of the tree before taking it up. But this animal certainly had its stomach removed in the road, so we can assume it very likely was a dog that did it, or two, killed the animal, and the leopard moved in and stole the kill from them. Possible. Gianni is a TV leopard indeed. Look at him. It's one of the beautiful things of having this long lens, is we can park quite some distance away and still get great views. Good job, Mpo. Okay, well, we're not going to go anywhere. We might have to just now, but I don't think we need to right now. And let's go check in with Amy, see if she's managed to relocate her big cats.
Hello everyone, welcome back. We haven't been able to relocate them yet. We did loop around to the other side of the Timbavati and try to get a view where we could, but we found some impalas who certainly, if they do see any lions, will let us know. But we actually going back down the road we've just driven to see if maybe they pause somewhere, which we know that they do, lay down, had a rest, or maybe... Oh, maybe they're moving in the riverbed and are going to come out the other side now. Unfortunately, these impalas, with one just snorting like that, is very unreliable because they do still alarm call at us sometimes. But knowing that lions are moving in the area, there is a possibility that they could see something. So just listening if we can hear any other alarm calls, because we know that there are often baboons and monkeys that roost along the Timbavati, and if they see those lions moving, they will definitely be calling. Oh. But it's not those alarm calls that it's sort of this panicked, lots and lots of them after each other, so I don't think they've seen anything. I think it possibly is alarming at us. Carol, we are allowed to off-road in Sandringham. The thing is here, there's a lot of potential to damage the vehicle, and also because of there's a lot of stumps and broken off branches and roots and things like that, holes as well by the elephants. And so what we sort of have to weigh up is it worth off-roading at a certain speed, which is not very fast, compared to the gain of actually following those animals. So even if we are following them and trying to go off-road, even there we would have only been able to just go to the river bank, and if they cross the river we can't enter the Timbavati from a bank, so we'd have to loop around anyway, so it wasn't worth us following them in that situation. Also the area between those quarries is a little bit sodic, so that is something that we have to be aware of in that situation. So it really is about weighing it up. But if we need to, we have done so before, off-roaded where necessary. And there are places that are a lot easier to go off-road than others. All right, everyone, we're going to go back down the road and see if we can find any more signs of these lions moving. And while we do, let's send you back over to that beautiful leopard.
Thanks, Amy. Well, we've just repositioned ourselves a little bit. What I love to do with sightings with guests as well is to often stop a distance away, get some photos, maybe watch through binoculars initially. Something I think a lot of guides get wrong, especially with big game, is the first time safari goes, they come out here, they've never seen a lion before or a leopard before, and they drive straight up to it and park right there. Now, many of us know that the nature of some of these animals is habituated, and you can get quite close. It doesn't mean your guests are comfortable with that. So what I often used to do is stop from a distance, get the binoculars out, no real photographic opportunity, and then after about a couple of minutes of chatting and how's everybody feeling, are you comfortable if we go closer, and then the look on everybody's face is like, what, we can go closer? And then you move a bit closer, do the same again. Now maybe you don't need binoculars, and eventually you end up being a lot closer than you would have been initially, and you talk about the behavior and how it's not changing and how the leopard or the lion isn't reacting to our presence. And I think some guides get that very wrong. He's going to come down the mound. Maybe he's decided he's hungry again. I don't know. Looks like it might be a scratch on his nose, Linda. The sun is starting to come through the clouds. It might be some mud, blood. It looks like the fur is a little bit removed there. It does look like the fur has been removed. He might have been, might have been in a confrontation. It also can be caused by an animal's hoof or a warthog tusk just grazing the top of the nose. The bone is quite hard there, so difficult for a hoof or a bone like a tusk to cause enormous amounts of damage. But it definitely looks like it's healed, but I think it might have lost some of its fur. Now, I don't see the 4-4. I see it. It's got a bit of a scratch then on the right. In the little groove there, there's apparently a spot. So it's supposed to be a 4-4 male. There we go. When he turns, that's interesting. Looking just above the whiskers. Row of spots on the right of screen. There's 3 and 1 above, and on the left of screen there's 2 and 1 above. Maybe there's a 4th one there that's sort of in the groove of the nose. Finally, he has indeed stolen the limelight, and looking at him now, he's definitely thickening up. His neck is definitely looking a lot better or bigger now that he's sitting sort of pushed up like that. As he gets bigger, that neck is going to disappear. So what I was talking about before is comfort zones. And we have to understand animal comfort zones. But don't forget to understand human and people comfort zones. And as an experienced guide, we know animal behavior and body language very well, but we need to interpret that to our guests as we move around the landscape so that we can not push their comfort zones and make them feel comfortable, bearing in mind many people coming here on the first time see these animals as very dangerous, and we need to help them understand exactly what signs to look for and how these animals interact with us, the privilege we have to view them from a vehicle, as Amy's doing with lions over there in Sandringham.
Hello everyone, we've got the lions, they're moving in the riverbed there. Just the female and the one male. Oh, there comes the other one. The other young male is coming there, and I think the Xikukutsu is going to follow as well. Oh, awesome, awesome, awesome. This is our best view that we can get. It's very thick along the riverbed, and also they're on the move. So I'm going to try and reposition best we can as they move along. But so cool to have these cats. I'm not sure how far behind that Xikukutsu is going to follow. So I'm going to go forward, and there is another little gap that we should be able to see them. We might have to use this front one, Panda. Yeah, he's going to come through there. But very, very cool. I'm not sure exactly how far they're going to walk down the riverbed. That is also the question. Wendy, I know. This is just fantastic. Trying to see if we can see this the fourth one coming at all. I don't see any movement just yet. I think I'm going to have to, it looks like they're veering more to the right of the Timbavati, so I think I'm going to have to maybe see if we can get to the other side and hopefully they come out of the riverbed, or if they get to the corner over there where I cross the river, then we'll have a perfect view of them walking towards us, but that is a little bit of distance that they still have to cover. Oh, okay, I'm going to keep moving slowly. Just want to see if we can see this the third male. I imagine he's going to follow them.
My name is Takuzwa Panda Msesani. My scariest moment is when it happened twice. The other time I was with Cedric and the other time I was with Steve. And all those times, it was a black mamba. My favorite meal in camp is gonna be burger and chips.
Join us on the greatest and largest game drive in the world.
Safari, wine, and waterfalls. The ultimate African adventure. Sip South Africa's finest wines. Experience a world-class safari among Africa's iconic wildlife. And stand in front of Victoria Falls, one of the natural wonders of the world. All this can be yours with Wild Earth Travel, where Africa comes alive.
And Senzo were with me. We got cheetah first thing, and we were on foot, and then we called James Hendry into that sighting, and James went with the vehicle, and it was a mother and her youngster, also a female, so 2 female cheetah, and she proceeded to then go and kill a kudu. And then obviously they carried on with that sighting. In the meantime, we headed off. We were initially looking at leopard tracks. Then we heard lions. And following the leopard tracks, we came across the cheetah. So we went back on the leopard tracks. And we could hear the leopard sawing not too far from us. So we ran down the road. I've told the story before, but it's worth telling again because we got a trifecta. And we were running, which you should never do, but the leopard was nearby, so we wanted to get there very quickly. And running down the road, I turned behind me, and Senzo had tripped. It was the old bushwalk gear that we had, like a real antenna on a pole behind him, on a backpack. And he tripped and fell forward, and he literally pole vaulted in a front somersault off of that antenna. And Herbie and I were crying. We were laughing so much. I wish we could have got that on film and put it in slow-mo. But then we proceeded to go and find, I think it was Tingana. And then after that, we got the lions. So we had the trifecta on one bushwalk as well. I think that's only comparable to what we've got this morning. So, yes, there is folks that are remembering that sighting. Maybe some of the old SafariLIVE viewers would have seen us on that morning. It was probably the best bushwalk I've ever had, and the most fun had as well, with Senzo pole vaulting on the run for finding the leopard. So action-packed morning. Cheetah, leopard, lion. It was sensational. A bit of stretching and yawning going on here, so it bodes well for potential action, or at least some activity of getting up. But they don't seem to be too willing this morning to get up and walk. We were excited when we arrived. They were all sitting up, and then subsequently have all gone flat. So it's a day for breaking records. This is our 7th in a row with cheetah. That's got to be some kind of record. And getting leopard, lion and cheetah across the different locations at the same time. That's another one. Yeah, Morgan's saying we need to get into double digits of seeing cheetah on subsequent walks. So let's hope that long may it continue. I want to get these guys hunting, and a full hunt from start to finish. James Hendry, welcome aboard with us, chap, and glad that you remember that one. Yeah, well, how could you forget? It was a fun morning. Yeah, I'll never forget that day. This guy, there is just a little bit of movement of the vehicles, and I think that's all he's concerned with. But these guys are super relaxed around vehicles. A little bit too much. They have actually been known to, and they've been witnessed jumping on the vehicles, and we've managed to now sort of get them that they're not doing it anymore. They're not showing any inclination of wanting to jump on the vehicles anymore, and that's definitely a behavior that we do not want to condone and we do not want to have happening here. But anyway, that's it from our sleepy cheetah for now. Let's head you on back to Steve, who I hope is still with Nottens.
Giving Paul the look. And Paul, how many leopards do you think you've seen now? Yeah. I'm going to ask him Paul to write a list today, everybody. Maybe we can share it this afternoon before he goes on leave. I'll try to recall my list. So, some people have commented that the Nweti male disappeared a few months ago, presumed dead, but he was an absolute beast. So if he's the father of this boy, good genetics. Good genetics. If he's only 3.5, he's really looking very impressive already. So, if a male is bigger and stronger, then he can establish a territory earlier than others. Even some males get to full age and never develop properly. But a young male moving through the area years ago, his name was Kwatile, and apparently he was like 6 or so, and he was a little cat. I thought he was a female, so genetics was not in his favor. But how does that work? How do you get a small male? And how come we don't perpetuate small males generally? Large males perpetuate. You see our vehicle leaving. And that's because large males are more dominant. Large males secure territory for longer. Large males, even attitude, physicality, not just size, but physicality and aggression, will hold territory longer and mate with more females, which means the genetics of the larger male leopard is perpetuated through the genes. It is a benefit up here to be a large male. We're down in the Cape. We get the Cape leopard, which is sort of become a subspecies, but they are the same species of cat. But I remember catching, I didn't physically catch it, but I was assisting a friend of mine with leopard research there, and they were putting collars on leopards, and they caught what they said was a big male leopard in the Cape. He's looking at you funny, Ambo. It was a big male leopard in the Cape, and obviously he was darted and a collar was put on, and they weighed him 36 kilograms, and he was deemed a big male. Now this guy here is not fully grown, but I mean, a fully grown male leopard is 90 plus, close to 100 kilograms. 100 kilograms for a big male up in this area, but down in the Cape, 36 was regarded as a large male. So, down there, in that part of the world, it's benefiting them to be small leopards, because small leopards require less food, I suppose, the abundance of food there is of a much smaller nature. They're not catching large impala, they're not catching big animals, they're feeding on birds, they're feeding on small mammals, dassies and the like. And so it has benefited the species, and the individuals that are smaller have done better because they're more agile to catch their small prey. Hence why the Cape leopard is so much smaller, and what we call the Kruger leopard or Savannah leopard is much larger. Well, what's he deciding to do? Is he booking it? He's going back to the tree we saw him at earlier. I wonder if he saw something, because he looks at him like the world was about to end. And now he's walking down to the termite mound where we saw him earlier, where he had a little bit of a sniff. He might be deciding, oh, I'm actually out of here.
For years, we've shared virtual wildlife. Now, let's experience it for real. I'm Lauren Arthur, and I'd love to show you my amazing home here in the Greater Kruger of South Africa. This 5-night journey is an exclusive connection to my piece of untamed Africa. I live here in these gorgeous landscapes surrounded by epic wildlife. The wild is calling, so come and join me.
Even a hyena coming into the action as well now. Oh my word! She's stalking the hyena now. Leopard, hyena, lion, all together in one shot. Oh. This is action-packed.
Greatest wildlife spectacle on planet Earth. We'll see you there.
If you love watching Wild Earth, here's a little tip. Become a member. You can gain access to the channel ad-free, you can rewind and re-watch sightings, and you can join our Tuesday live safaris. There's also behind the scenes videos, fireside chats, and every SafariLIVE episode, whenever you want it. It's just a better way to stay connected to nature.
We could pick it out. It's got pins in the leg. Amazing what they've been able to do. So Jeremiah, skittish leopard versus skittish cheetah. I would say that they do act slightly differently in that skittish cheetah generally just run off and disappear, as quickly as possible, as far as possible away. Whereas skittish leopard, because of their kind of habits, they're not as much of runners as the cheetah are. They more so just hide. And if a leopard doesn't want to be seen, it won't be. So hiding in the grass, hiding behind thickets, etc. Yes, if you you stumble upon them, they will run off as well. But I find that more so between the two different species, the cheetah are more prone to just running off, whereas a leopard tend to sort of almost stay in the same place, but just hide itself. And then obviously if you get into close proximity, it will disappear, run off. But that's generally the difference. I tell you, we had a an encounter with a leopard in the Makuleki concession of the northern parts of the Kruger Park. We were on an all-day walk, and we went down to the area near to the Levuvu River, and we took a break underneath the baobab tree. And as this one now, just smelling different scents around as they do, going down in their haunches like that, maybe even licking the ground as well sometimes. But we took a break underneath a baobab tree, and we were there for about 15-20 minutes. It was a long old hot day, and after that period of time, somebody, I can't remember who it was, looked up, and up in the branches was a female leopard, probably between 15 and 18 meters up. It was a massive baobab, and she was obviously watching us the entire time, but when she got eye contact with the person that looked up, she launched herself out of the baobab tree, landed on the ground in front of all of us, and this is obviously what woke us up from our rest, and bolted. So it's also the fact that she obviously knew that nobody had seen her yet, or was thinking that, but as soon as somebody got eye contact, that made her launch, and then she ran off and disappeared. And I would say she was probably a skittish leopard as well. Anyway, there's nothing skittish about these cheetah, and I hope there's nothing skittish about the lions with Amy.
We have found the Xikukutsu again. We were waiting and waiting, and he has popped out here on the other side of the road that we were heading down. This is awesome. Okay, I need to reverse. We're gonna have a nice gap just up here. There we go. This has been such an exciting morning, my word. Oh, wow. I don't know, I think the others must have crossed already, unless he's sort of going on his own mission now. But still awesome to see him like this. Wow. I'm going to have to reverse again, everybody. If he cuts off into the block, it's going to be a little bit more tricky to follow him, but we'll do our best. Shelly, I know. We actually have a really nice open area coming up now, so hopefully he stays for us. He should, there, he's coming from that side. What a morning! Roaming his kingdom, doesn't it just feel like that? My goodness. Oh, it looks like he's coming back towards, closer to the road, which is good. It's been awesome, everyone. It has been awesome. These moments have just been fantastic. I'm going to reposition again for us. I'm going to turn around now since he's continuing to walk this way. see. I don't know if he's going to come out. If he carries on in a straight line, he's going to come out in the beautiful clearings of Serengeti. There he is there. I'm going to try and loop around, and he'll probably come out in this opening. That'll be great. There he is. There he is. Okay. I know, Nancy. There he is. He's walking there. I'm just going to see if we can get into a spot here to see him coming out. We're just going to have to wait a little bit, but I'm sure he's going to come through the thickets there. I can see him. Just take a breath. There he is. There he is. He stopped just behind the trees there. He's just pausing. I'm sure he's going to continue shortly. There he goes. Oh, he's going just behind that tree. I'm hoping he's going to come out, everyone. Simone, I know he's beautiful, isn't he? He really, really is, especially in this morning light. Oh, where you gone, boy? Just keeping our eyes to the right of this tree, because if he was going to loop around and move to that side, he would come out there. I'm just going to go forward and see if we can see him, everyone. He seems to have, I don't know if he's decided to rest behind those guarri bushes, but we're going to go investigate. You see him, Panda? Just behind. Do you think that he sat down? Yeah. Okay. We'll go see if we can see him, everybody. Maybe found some shade there that he liked. Yeah, he stopped in the shade here. There he is. He's actually, okay, I'm going to go forward so you can see him, but we're probably going to loop around to the other side because he's found the shade here now. We can just show you him, and then we'll loop around to the other side just so that you can have an idea. But, I mean, you wouldn't... Is there a branch? Oh, let me go forward, sorry. If you were just driving past... I mean, look at that perfect shade there now, and perfectly camouflaged as well. My goodness. Likely where he's going to rest for today. He's found a really good shady spot. And it's amazing how he just decided. He was obviously looking for a spot like that to rest. Oh, Kerry, I know it would be amazing to hear him roar, but I think it's a bit past that time of day. I mean, you never know, but I do think so. My name is Amy, and today we're going to be doing things a little bit differently.
At Wild Earth, we believe every story has the power to create change. That's why we've launched the Wild Earth Impact Foundation, a non-profit dedicated to conservation and social impact. By showcasing conservation stories, we can change lives, protect nature, and empower communities. We have partnered with Empowers Africa to accept tax-deductible donations from US donors. Your donation will help fund critical programs that support our mission. Join us and be part of the change.
My name is Takuzwa Panda Nsesani. I really want to film an artwork, and it has been my goal. I'll be just keeping my eyes open. The worst driver is James. He's driving, yeah. You gotta be holding on back in there, yeah? Like in bumps, and I mean, it happens when, these things happens when you're actually going for animals usually. But then, yeah, he's driving, yeah, you gotta put your seatbelt.
Ria, you say the best kind of roadblock? Absolutely. Look at this.
Hello, girls.
Come on, and these guinea fowl are going to harass them now. I think they're not going to stay in the same spot if they carry on with that noise. It's going to irritate them. You can see the tails swishing. There is irritation from the cheetah as well. Their position is being given away. I was actually seeing the one cheetah that was walking in front seemed to have a slight limp on the front leg. It might have just been a small injury from whatever they've eaten in the last couple of days in the hunt, but nothing serious. Maybe just pulled a muscle, or, you know, in the act of taking an animal down, there's all sorts that can happen. Those guinea fowl are really coming in close now. Sure. I wonder if one of these cheetah may have bush chicken for breakfast. Moving off just behind them now. And you see, that's also the kind of alarm call we listen out in the bush. They can often show you where predators are, but they can do it just as they're waking up as well. But if you see guinea fowl doing that and they're on a bush and they're all up off the ground, that's a good indication that there's predators right near them. They're a little bit like squirrels in the fact that they can show you things, but they can also just be making a racket for the sake of it. It's like they are intent on harassing them. They're not moving off. In fact, they're almost circling back. Okay, I think we're going to try and get a little bit closer to them and see what's going to transpire between these guinea fowl and the cheetah. But I wonder what's transpiring with the lions and Amy.
Well, it's time for the morning nap. He was on the move looking for the perfect spot, and he seems to think that he's found it. I wouldn't be surprised if he hangs out in maybe not this exact spot, because the sun's going to move and so the shade will move, but he might go sort of deeper into the thickets. We'll come have a look this afternoon as well if he's in the area here, but I think this is basically what he's going to be doing. They've obviously had a busy night, moved a lot. I'm not sure where the three other lions are. It's likely that they cut off ahead of him and are somewhere else close by, potentially. But he was sort of separate from the three of them the whole time. But it has been wonderful to bring you this safari, cat-filled safari this morning. And a big thank you to Bush Tech, who is the proud sponsor of our Sunrise Safari this morning, as well as providing the luxury tents that keeps us safe and comfortable at night. Snoozy time. Wow, well, we're going to let this boy rest. Maybe we'll find some elephants in the last few minutes of the drive. While we do that, let's send you over to Steve, who already has some.
Morning.
Yeah, just to slow it down a little with the embodiment of slowness in the African wilderness. Elephants feeding. Now, we had that male leopard on the termite mound for a few moments, and then he decided to go south. He went back across the boundary. We were not able to follow. Maybe there's water there we don't know about. He'll be coming back. Don't think he'll give up that meat, easy meat. We found these ellies slowly feeding towards the road, and maybe they'll come out. Maybe these gentle grey giants will emerge from the trees for us. A little baby at the back there, Vicky. It's always nice to slow things down. got an itchy chin. Perfect size branch. This yanks it to scratch. Wouldn't be surprised if it steps over and oh, it's a bit of a belly scratch as well. Let me move forward a touch there. Tell me when you're good and Paul. Oh, I didn't scratch for very long. I'm just going to try and go back a little bit. It's okay, Mama. Hello. Oh. You got to remind me. Stacey, well, I have got evidence of it. The one and only time I ever borrowed a car from a friend, I needed to come up from the garden route, come through to Hoedspruit to get my PDP, my professional driving permit. It's a license, a vehicle license. I was doing some tours down in the Cape and I needed my PDP, so I flew up. My friend in Johannesburg let me use his car. I drove through to Hoedspruit, and then I ended up staying with some friends in a reserve called Belule. And my friend suggested I park the car at the airstrip, and then we went through to his camp, spent the night there, and then we came back in the morning. It was very obvious that due to the tracks, the trunk mark on the windscreen, and the dents on the back of the car, that an elephant bull had decided to rub himself on my friend's car. Not my car, but my friend's car. Now, I found this, the trunk mark and the dust mark on the windscreen, the scratches on the back and the dent on the back. It was a big Ford Ranger, single cab. The tracks around the car were very obvious. And now, can you imagine telling somebody this who doesn't live or work in the bush? Can you imagine how unbelievable it might sound that I voice noted him to prepare him? Sorry to tell you, there's been a bit of damage to your car. An elephant bull decided to scratch his belly.
My name is Amy, and today we're going to be doing things a little bit differently.
What does it take to handle the wild? Balance. Determination. Focus.
Yaku!
And gear that can take a beating so you don't have to.
Full name is Maxine Gaines. Most people that know me really well call me Max. I'm a mum. I have two boys. One is 16 years old and one is 14 years old. I'm a very, very proud mama of my two boys. I've just always been passionate about leopards. I'm passionate about their conservation. I'm just passionate about everything to do with leopards. I love them. some ellies that we're approaching now.
The light on her as well is absolutely gorgeous.
So we are going to enjoy the rest of this sunset.
Wow, 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 this is absolutely crazy.
And thank you for joining us. For myself and Cam, we will see you next time.
Are you ready for the adventure of a lifetime? Wild Earth Travel's newsletter is your passport to a magical journey. Explore exclusive travel options featuring special offers at stunning Wild Earth locations and all hosted by your favorite presenters. Don't miss out. Head over to our website and subscribe to the Wild Earth Travel newsletter today and stay in the know on all our unforgettable adventures. Wild Earth Travel, where Africa comes alive.
It's got a completely red sort of the skin that's on the face there, and under the throat particularly is completely red, whereas the female has the black patch. Are you coming out again? That's nice. Always a treat to see these birds in the open doing their thing. Mike, what a way to end the show. At least for us here at Sandringham to have a little bonus at the end.
So the action has continued here with the boys, especially after spending so much time with them and them not doing much at all except rolling around, flicking an ear and an odd tail swish. Now the guinea fowlers have also left them and quit their harassment. And I'm wondering if they're just going to bed up now in the shade of that little sweet thorn and have another snooze. We'll have to see when we come out this afternoon and see if they're still here. Obviously, we need to go and feed ourselves. They don't need any feeding for now. Well, Malika, thanks for your comment and glad that you've enjoyed the show this morning. It has been outstanding, especially with the trifecta of leopard, lion and cheetah all in one. What more could you ask for on a Sunday morning? Well, you could ask for more action on the sunset safari, but we never know what's going to happen. That's the beauty of being out in the bush. You just never know. It was like yesterday when I saw for the first time in my life pronking waterbuck. I think that has to be put out to all of the guides who has ever seen pronking waterbuck. And I still challenge anybody to show me any footage of that occurring. They were pronking at a female cheetah who wasn't trying to hunt them but was moving through the area that they were. And this cheetah that's walking, that's the little limp that I was talking about. Like I say, it's obviously maybe bruised or a bit stretched, but nothing too serious. I'm sure it will wear off. A little bit of grooming. Penelope Kenyon, thanks for your comment and you're very welcome. It's because of people like you that we get to do what we love and being out in the bush, bringing these lovely pictures to you across the world. So thank you, and thanks to all the viewers for joining us. It's It really makes it worthwhile. So we're just about at the end of the show, and thanks to everybody once again for joining us. It's been an action-packed morning, and like I say, we should wonder what's going to be happening this afternoon for the Sunset Safari. And to find out, you'll have to join us and see what occurs across the South African locations, as these two now get into some brotherly love and aloe grooming. What more could we have asked for this morning? Maybe a hunt, but you can't have it all. Maybe that's what we'll get this afternoon. Time will tell. And of course, thanks to the whole Wild Earth team, there's a lot of guys behind the scenes. There's the technicians and the directors and all the teams that don't get to be on camera. And of course the camera operators and the different naturalists all across the board. All part of the same great team. And the greatest and largest game drive in the world. We just get to do the easy job of sitting up front, driving and talking nonsense. That's it for now, folks. We'll see you on the Sunset Safari. Cheers.